Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is ASO Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be looking at what others admire about you. So I was really in the mood to just kind of hype y'all up today, and I remembered that this reading is actually the very first reading I ever did on my channel before I even had a name for my channel or anything like that. And so I was like, wow, that's kind of a blast from the past. I should redo it. So I have brought back the little pocket Buddhas today, and I have added an extra pile for all of y'all. So we are going to be looking at what others, so strangers, family, friends, it really doesn't matter, what people that are not you admire about you. So we have 5 piles today. We are starting with pile 1 with the Wild Unknown Tarot and this orange pocket Buddha that says happiness on it. We have pile 2 with the Synesthesia Tarot and this pocket Buddha that says harmony. We have pile 3 with the Lightseers Tarot and this pocket Buddha that says wisdom. We have pile 4 with the 8th House Tarot and the blue pocket Buddha that says health. And finally, we have pile 5 with the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot and the purple Buddha that says faith. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. We're not one-dimensional people, and oftentimes you'll have one facet of your personality in one reading and another facet in another. So do just what works the best for you. There are no right or wrongs, just trust your intuition. If you feel drawn to none of them, then it's possible that there is no reading in here for you, but feel free to try one out if you still feel like you want to. But once you've gone ahead and picked your pile, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description box below or the comments section where I will have all of the timestamps for each of the readings. So once you've picked your pile, go ahead and find your timestamps and I will meet you in your reading. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose the Wild Unknown Tarot and this little pocket Buddha that says happiness on it, this is going to be your reading on what others admire about you. So what we're going to do is shuffle your tarot. I have your oracle cards all ready, and then after that we will look at some channeled messages from the universe, God, your spirit guides, whatever you want to call them, and then we'll get some advice to leave you off. So I am just gonna give these a good shuffle. I shuffled off camera, but I like to make sure that y'all see it too, so that I'm not looking like I'm out here not shuffling, you know what I mean? And like I said in the intro, if you missed that, I will be looking at different perspectives. So this could be from the perspective of strangers. This could be from the perspective of your closest friends and family. It really doesn't matter, but just remember that this is other people's perspective, so you might not see yourself in this light, but that's also probably because you don't see your own worth. I hope you do, but just in case you don't, hopefully this reading will set you straight on that. So let's go ahead and start shuffling. That's too many. Okay. So, Spirit, what do people admire about pile 1? Okay, well, to start, we have the 8 of Wands in reverse. What do people admire about pile 1, Spirit? Okay, so we have the Empress. We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Cups in reverse. We have, what is this? The six of Pentacles in reverse. The Queen of Wands in reverse. And on the back of the deck, we have the Page of Swords. Okay. Let me just get these all in here. Might just have to, yeah, there we go. That way I won't be driven crazy. Okay, let's go ahead and look at your oracles now too. So to start, we have jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. We also have power. We have the Panther. We have Pele, might be saying that incorrectly, goddess of volcano, creativity, change, protection. We have justice. And finally, we have grounded goat, persistence, discipline, stability, sure-footed mountain dweller, bless me with your balance and grace. So what do people admire about you, pile one? Well, to start, let's just talk about how fierce you are. I honestly, as much as I want to say that you have admirers, I think you also have people that kind of fear you. And I don't want to say that in a way that's like shady, because it's not shady, actually. It's really awesome. Not that like anybody fearing you is awesome, but it's good because it's in this way where it's very clear that you don't put up with anything that isn't serving you. Because with this Eight of Wands here, like this Eight of Wands in reverse, and especially the Panther and the Queen of Wands, it's quite possible that maybe growing up or when you were younger, you might have flown off the handle or really just told people how you felt without really caring about the consequences. Maybe you're particularly blunt or particularly straightforward. It definitely just seems like you have grown in the sense that you don't really fly off the handle like that anymore, if you once did at all. But that the capacity to do that is definitely still there, and you definitely will utilize it if you need to, like with this kind of like Panther, Queen of Wands in reverse energy. It's like you know exactly how to put people in their place when they need to be put in their place, or you feel like they are crossing your boundaries or somebody else's boundaries. So a lot of people view you as somebody not to mess with. But one thing that they really admire about you is the fact that you're still fair, even though you do have so much personal power and have so much confidence in yourself. And you might be saying like, well, I don't have confidence in myself, and they don't know that. And so that's why it's really important. Like, even when you don't feel confident in yourself, that doesn't mean that other people see that, you know? It's like you gotta pretend until it's a real thing, and sometimes like believing in it is seeing it later. But people still view you as very humble and somebody who's willing to give up a lot in order to benefit the greater good. You might have children. I'm especially seeing here for some of you, like you might have 2 daughters, or you might have like 2 children, or you could just be a single parent of some kind. Well, I guess you technically don't have to be a single parent. I'm just noting that here, that for some of you, a lot of your energy has to be conserved for like you and your family, and people really admire how much like the lengths that you go to take care of your family. And honestly, this doesn't even really have to be like, you don't have to be a parent. You could be like an older sibling or something like that, and you are really focused on taking care of them. It kind of seems like you are somebody who just has a lot of initiative. You could definitely be a fire sign. Like the biggest signs that I'm seeing here is definitely a lot of fire. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I'm also seeing air, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, especially Libra with justice. And with the Page of Pentacles here, we have Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. And I would say with the goat, I get extra Capricorn with that. But it's like people see now, one, how much like energy it might take for you to kind of rein in a lot of like energy that you have internally. It's like, it's really interesting. You've learned how to funnel your emotions, not just your positive emotions, but your negative emotions into your tasks or what you're meant to do. It really seems like for a lot of people in this group, people either like underestimated you or felt like they could get away with testing your patience or saying specific things to like get a reaction out of you. And I get kind of like a frustrated energy from it, and I can understand why it's frustrating, because I feel like for you, you know, it took you a long time to get to a point where you felt confident in yourself. And I think before, you had this kind of false sense of confidence that other people around you would want to test to see if they could get a rise out of you. It's kind of like an interesting message that I'm getting. But it seems like you've learned how to rein in a lot of this chaotic energy and turn it into something that is actually valuable and worthwhile. For those of you that aren't parents, I'm definitely seeing that you are a parent of something. And by that, I mean it's either like a creative project, it could be a business, or something else like that. It definitely just seems like you have been working really hard to make something your own and actually create it and not create it, evolve it into something that you can live off of, and evolve it into something that is your passion project or your life purpose. What I see here with like the page and the Page of Swords and the Page of Pentacles is that you're well on your way to taking this creation to the next step, and people can already see the physical manifestations of this creative project. And I think a lot of people are really impressed by how much you've already been able to accomplish, because you kind of disappear sometimes, and like it's kind of like you fall into the background, and like people kind of forget you exist for a hot sec, and then you come back and people are just like, whoa, like pile one, like where did they come from? Like, wow, look at what they've been doing. And it's almost like people just underestimate you, and then you come back and you like show them what you're really made of, like in a subtle way. It's like you're not out here bragging, you're not out here like, you don't talk the talk, you just walk the walk and like don't care about anyone else. And then so then people see you like walking the walk and they're like, wow, that's really impressive. And I also think that you're just the type of person not to take shit from people, and people obviously have to admire that, because there are a lot of people, like myself included, who probably put up with a lot of shit that they shouldn't. So like, claps for that. I'm happy for y'all. You're definitely like just a go-getter though. You're probably an outdoorsy type of person, or just a more active type of person. And I can already see the comments being like me, who doesn't leave my house and like doesn't move. Like, so there's definitely some of you there. And actually, if you are one of those people, it might really benefit you to do those things. So don't knock it till you try it. It might actually help you channel some of your like chaotic energy into something. I just heard something about like not wanting to wake the beast. And now I'm thinking of the movie Sandlot. So maybe some of you played like baseball or softball or like something like that. Maybe you're like really good at baseball or something. Like I'm literally seeing like somebody like hitting a baseball. So yeah, maybe some of you are like have really good athletic abilities, or you're just adventurous. I do kind of get that like Sagittarius energy where some of you might really love to travel, and people really admire that about you. I feel like it's taken you a long time to get to the point where you can be patient. You know, the fact that we have this grounded goat, persistence, discipline, stability, it seems like it's taken you a long time to reach this point. And Spirit is saying that you should be really proud of yourself, because it's not easy for you to kind of rein all your energy in like this. And, you know, it's like you have always had this energy, but I think in the past you might have used it to just be chaotic or do like destructive things with it. And now you've kind of learned how to rein it in a positive way, and actually dedicate it towards something that will benefit you and will benefit your life in the future, and is something that you can be proud of. You might be an Andromedan starseed or have kind of that energy. It does just seem like you love to constantly transform and grow. You have this kind of like, despite all the power that you hold, you are still a very like go with the flow type person if it's not relating to like your everyday life. Because like from afar, a lot of people would describe you as chill. But I think one admirable thing about you is that you're not only trying to like achieve this goal, like this creation for your own benefit, but I do feel like not only do you want to create a life where you're truly happy, but also I feel like you want to be more philanthropic and give to others in a way that you were not able to, like, to give others things that you were not able to have growing up. There's a really huge philanthropic aspect to you. Sorry, my water bottle's in the way. There's a huge philanthropic aspect to you that a lot of people really admire. And I think one accomplishment of yours that is being highlighted is the fact that you've learned how to kind of channel, like, because you've learned how to channel all of this fiery energy in a positive way, you're actually able to look at things from a more neutral perspective and see things objectively, and it actually helps you make better business decisions or creative decisions or life decisions that move you forward in a positive direction. I think people also admire that you've really learned how to become more patient. You've learned how to be more disciplined and, like, channel all of your energy. I feel like it just keeps saying this over and over. You know how to channel your energy into positive actions that will lead to positive outcomes and set you towards the life that you truly want. It's possible right now you've been purging a lot of things in your life that no longer serve you. And I'm seeing, like, specifically there might be people in your life as of right now that maybe are upset with you or are viewing you in this panther light. And Spirit is really calling me to say that if that's the case, to not feel upset and not feel like that's your problem or that's your fault. You probably already do realize that, but just in case for some of you, if you are feeling that way, do not, because you've had this need to purge because there's a lot of things in your life that really are no longer serving you. And so you're getting rid of all of this excess energy that's weighing you down so that in fact you can rise even higher. And for some of you, I'm getting this specific message that you might have had a maternal figure that was kind of hard on you and maybe not the best for your, like, upbringing and growth. This isn't for everybody, so just for some of you, but you might have had, like, a maternal figure that maybe didn't treat you very well or really put you down a lot. And I think that there's some people saying that they're really proud of your ability to overcome that and not take that stuff personally anymore, or not allow it to hold you back, because you know it's a reflection of them and not yourself. But I also think the fact that you are just so protective of the people that you care about, and you are just so willing to let go of the things that you personally desire in order to benefit the people in your life. I was about to say the collective, but then I was like, nah, not the collective. Like, this is a pile where you either, like, somebody is in your inner circle or they're an acquaintance, and, like, that's that. And I actually think that there's people who were in your inner circle that you're realizing are maybe not meant to be there, and you're kind of, like, purging that. But also this could just be, like, items like clothes or furniture, clutter, just things that are no longer serving you. You've kind of been getting rid of them. But people see you as somebody that's, like, constantly evolving and is just, like, not afraid to take on a challenge. And I think that's why so many people admire you, is because, first of all, I'm getting so many different perspectives here. Like, I could definitely see how for some of you this would be, like, strangers' viewpoints of you, but I also think that this could be as close as, like, siblings. So there's a lot of different opinions here. And I think, like, too, people see your humanity, because it takes a lot to really rile you up at this stage in your life. And so when you do, like, people know that, like, you've been tested in some way, or you've really been, like, brought to your breaking point. But people love that you're protective over the things that you care about. People love that you're not afraid to change. I mean, we have two different cards here talking about change. And I think that you really have changed a lot just from, like, who you were when you were born to who you are now. Well, obviously, because, like, physically you change, but I mean, you know, there are the types of people who, you know, have aspects of themselves and they're just like, well, that's just how I am, and, like, you got to deal with it. But you're not that type of person. You don't have, like the viewpoint of, oh, that's just how I am. You're like, oh, there's this aspect of me that I'm not fond of. Instead of just saying that's how I am, I'm gonna change it, or I'm gonna do something to try and counteract it because I don't like this aspect of myself. You yield a lot of power. You hold a lot of power, and I think that scares people. I think it scares people a lot. And I think that honestly, I don't like saying this because I don't want to like make you feel paranoid, but you're probably just gonna be like, whatever. I just think you've definitely got some like haters or some people that watch you from afar and are just really jealous of everything that you're able to achieve. And I definitely feel like Spirit is saying, you know, don't pay them any mind. You probably forget that they exist, or you probably already know who they are and you're like, yep. But yeah, Spirit really wants you to know that all of the action that you've been taking is not has not been taken for granted or anything. Like, they see that, they're really proud of you. I also see like a specific stone, like if you don't have it, that might be good for you, is citrine. I'm not sure if I have some over here. Oh yeah, I do. This is citrine. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. I think it is though. Citrine might be a good stone to have around because it could just help with like feeling motivated, feeling more powerful, feeling confident in yourself. And it's kind of funny because he matches this happiness guy. But I think that honestly, you've really been brought to your knees a lot by the universe. And I think that for a long time you were just really angry at the world and you didn't understand like why all of this shitty stuff was happening to you. But I think that you got to a point where you opened your eyes and you kind of just surrendered to the idea of like, oh, you know, maybe there are things that I need to do better. Maybe the reason why things aren't going my way are because I have things in my personal life that I need to figure out. You know what I mean? Like, there's really just this energy from you where you've learned how to work with the universe, co-create with the universe, rather than work against the universe and blame the universe for your problems. You're the type of person to stand in your own power, and it's really awesome. And honestly, you should be really, really proud of yourself, because it's not easy for a lot of people to truly sit in themselves and see the things that about themselves that don't work, and take action to change it and take action to make their lives better. Because like, there are a lot of people who just blame the universe and just blame it on other things and don't really look at what they can do to change. And so I think Spirit is really commending your ability, and the people around you are commending your ability to take what you were born with and channel it into something even more and create something greater. It's like, if you're not satisfied, you will put in the work to make it so that you are. And you also recognize that by making any and every decision, like, there's positive outcomes and negative outcomes as a result, and you take all of those in stride. And I think one of the things that is really awesome about you is that you kind of are more calculated than people realize. Like, people might view you as impulsive or like the type of person to just jump into something without thinking about it, but you do think enough about it to like know what you're doing. And honestly, I think that the biggest thing that is driving you forward is the fact that you're not satisfied with where you're at. And like, I think the biggest thing Spirit wants to tell you is to just keep going, because you're doing a wonderful job at whatever it is that you're working on right now. And people are viewing you as a force to be reckoned with. And I feel like if there are other people that you know, like in your field, or you have like competitors in something or something like that, like, just know, like, there are eyes on you and you should be really proud of yourself. Don't view it as something intimidating, but just view it as the fact that you have more power than you realize, and people are like afraid of you in like kind of a good way, because they don't know what you're working with. They don't know what you've got under your belt. They don't know what you're thinking. You're very hard to read as something, which makes sense now because I'm seeing all this power, but it's harder for me to get below the surface of you a little bit. And I think that's because you don't let a lot of people in, and that's why so many people view you as powerful, which you are powerful and you should see yourself that way. But you leave people in the dark. Like, you really don't tell people like what's going on internally, and that's pretty calculated on your part. But yeah, people just like, a lot of people don't even know where they stand with you. I feel like, you know, you're kind of just like low key in that way where you're not gonna like really reveal it. You're like, oh, they can figure it out, which is kind of interesting because it's a stark difference from what you once were. Because Spirit is really showing me that you did really have this like pop off energy, like not afraid to like it feels quite Aries, if I'm gonna be, maybe it's more Sagittarius, if I'm being honest. I don't know. But yeah, you definitely have this popping off energy, but you've learned how to channel that energy into yourself and to build yourself up instead of like tearing others down or getting into like petty stuff that's not going to serve you. So Spirit is definitely really proud of your ability to do that. And I think one thing that people admire about you is that they don't know what your motivations are. They don't know like what your ultimate goals are. You keep things pretty close to the chest, and you're a hard person to read. Like, I'm just going to be honest, like it's pretty hard to read your energy. And I think that's just because you do such a good job of preserving and protecting it. Like when I see this Empress card here, I really think of like how when you're protecting your aura and you're visualizing yourself in light, like I think when you're really good at protecting your aura, people have a much more difficult time figuring out kind of what's going on underneath you or what's going on internally. And I think people don't even realize how kind and generous you are, because you do just come off as so intimidating, and that you're not afraid to just dive into things head first. So really what people admire about you is your fairness, how powerful you are, your ability to look at things from a higher perspective, your ability to focus on your goals and to like walk the walk instead of talk the talk. And overall, I think people just really admire how you evolve and how you can make what you see in like your mind's eye come to life, how you can create a better life for yourself and your family, or how you go out of your way to protect yourself and your family. Like you have a strong bubble of protection around you, and I think that Spirit is really proud of your ability to enforce that and also not allow people to come into your space that you think are not serving you, or your ability to realize when people who are already in your space are not serving you and that maybe it's time to purge them. So I'm going to get some channeled messages from your guides now and see what they want you to know. I figured this would be like probably good only because when it comes to hyping yourself up, like that's all fine and dandy, but we always have guidance that we need. So Spirit, what do you want pile 1 to know at this time? What messages do you have for pile 1? Okay. So the first one on the back of the deck is I show up as an animal you've been seeing repeatedly. So this could be a spirit guide, this could be a specific deity, this could be a passed on loved one, whoever you think I is. But let's see, we also have mirroring energy. So interesting, there might be somebody in your life that you're currently mirroring right now. For some of you, you might have like a twin or something like that. I think that Spirit is saying that if you are somebody that has a twin or something like that, maybe look at, there might be like things that you're projecting onto your twin that you might want to address. But not only that, you know, this makes me think of, well, this is from the Dirty Dan episode of SpongeBob, and I think that like there's a kind of a deeper aspect to this where people will like call you shit or judge you as things, and really it's kind of like people call you a pinhead, and you're like, who you calling a pinhead? Because like they're a pinhead, like, you know, it takes a pinhead to know a pinhead, you know what I mean? So that might be a specific message, so take that one as it resonates. Let's see what else we have. Ooh, we have abundance is assured. So for those of you who have been working really hard on your finances, or especially for those of you where this is a creative project or like a business or something like that, Spirit is definitely saying that you have money coming in and blessings are coming as a reward for your service to others. Thank you. So yeah, Spirit is really proud of you, and there's a lot of blessings coming in. Yeah, yeah, they're just repeating everything that I'm saying. Keep going. We are so proud of you. We also have you get, your gut confirms the messages your intuition receives. So yeah, Spirit is definitely saying trust your gut, especially when it comes to the people around you and the feelings that you get from them. And we also have you'll never know what you can achieve unless you try. And I think you've already realized a lot of that. And finally, we have go for it. So maybe for some of you, you've needed this like encouragement to keep moving forward. But I'm also going to pull some surrender cards to see if there's anything that's like not serving you that you might need to let go of. So Spirit, what does pile 1 need to surrender at this time? Okay. Okay, well, this kind of makes sense. Surrender your desire to control people. Being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. So yeah, so maybe because you are so powerful, maybe some people in your life feel like you're kind of controlling or something like that. So that might be something to note. That's a really interesting that Spirit's calling you out on that, because I feel like more than anything, people are intimidated by you. They're less so feeling controlled by you. But maybe in that way, they feel that as a sort of control. So take that one as it resonates. But let's see. We also have surrender your addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. So yeah, maybe this 9 of Cups in reverse could be speaking about like how maybe you're headed in the right path, but there are things that you're still doing to make yourself feel better that aren't really serving you. But we also have surrender to non-action. Now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. And finally, we have surrender defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. So yeah, this is interesting. So maybe for some of you, you're like, oh, I still pop off. I still do this. I still do that. And here's your sign of like, you have all the potential to. Oh, I just saw the back of the deck and I have to show it to you guys. This is so sweet. Surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. And I think that's beautiful because, yeah, you are given all these special, powerful abilities for a reason, and Spirit definitely wants you to use them, but they don't want you to use it in a destructive way. They want you to use it in a positive way. So if you were needing some advice on anything or anything that you need to surrender, those are your answers. But pile 1, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through, and thank you so much to everybody who has been watching my ads. I can definitely tell that you guys have been doing that, and I just want to say thank you so much. That is the simplest and easiest way to support my channel. I am doing this full time now, so definitely need to be able to support myself, so thank you. I know this was a shorter one today, but I just wanted to do something small and quick. So if this reading resonated, definitely let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear how it did. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like. If you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed and joined our fam and clicked that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to read your cards. I hope this resonated. You guys are not easy to read for, but that's not on you guys. Y'all just know how to protect yourselves. So I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose the little Buddha that says Harmony on it and the Synesthesia Tarot, this is going to be your reading on what others admire about you. So what we're just going to do today is look at your tarot and your oracles to see what people admire about you, and then I am going to be getting some channeled messages from the universe or your spirit guides, whatever you want to call them. And then I will finish off with a couple of extra messages about surrender, or if there's anything in your life right now that you need to let go of, after I thoroughly hype you up first. So we are going to go ahead and start now and just see, Spirit, what do people admire about pile 2, please? What do others admire about pile 2? Okay, so we have to start the 8 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands. Let's see what else. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles. Y'all got some money. Let's see what else. We have the 4 of Cups. There's already a lot about like knowing your vision, or like knowing your truth. Okay, wow, we also have the Empress. And on the back of the deck, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. I feel called to pull just like one more card though, so I'm gonna do that. Actually, I think it's this one. The Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay, interesting. Some of you might not do a whole lot of talking, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so looking at your oracles now, to start, we have all paths lead home, inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. We have love. We have curious cat, independence, intuition, balance, agile hunter, protector, and friend, summon the mystical magic of nature. We also have cheetah, the hold, and finally manifestation. Wow. Okay, so this pile is really impressive, and I can already see why you already have a lot of admirers, because there's a lot about your character here that's quite impressive, especially when it comes to what you have achieved already and what you will achieve. You're definitely a competitive spirit. We have a lot of earth and fire energy here, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, especially Capricorn, I would say. But looking over here with the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Wands, you're a really hard worker and also pretty competitive. And one of the really awesome things about you is that you're willing to fight for what you want, even if you're the only person that believes in it. You have a strong internal compass and a lot of internal authority, and it makes you feel more confident in the decisions that you're making. You might be like a business owner, or you might be like a leader in Spirit just keeps saying group, but I don't know, like that could be anything. It could be a creative group, because there's a lot about creativity here, something that you've created for yourself. So that could be like a business. It could be an external group, like a hobby group or something like that. For some of you, you might come from a family with a lot of prestige, I'm seeing. And so maybe people see you as an extension of your ancestors, like your parents, your grandparents, great-grandparents that achieved great things, and they're seeing you do the same, and so they're like, oh, it runs in the family. You definitely have a one-track mind at times, but that's not something that I'm seeing that is bad. In fact, the only time you really have a one-track mind is when you know exactly what it is that you need to do. Because the fact that we have manifestation here, create the life that you want, you're not satisfied with sitting in a life that isn't what makes you happy. We have the number 5 here on this manifestation card, and we also have the 5 of Wands. And I think that really just goes to show how your internal guidance is really based on changing things around in your life for the better. You know how to trust your intuition, and you actually have a very strong intuitive ability. With the cheetah here, what I find interesting as well is that you have a healthy balance of feminine and masculine energy within you. So it doesn't matter what you identify as. It just seems that the energies are very balanced. And in fact, a lot of people look to you for guidance. So I would not be shocked if you guide people in some way, whether that's being like a counselor or doing like consulting of some kind. You have this really strong inner authority and this like energy about you that when you give your opinion, people actually listen, because they see the success that you've cultivated for yourself, like the physical, right? Like you have the physical results to show that like the things that you invest your time and energy into have worthwhile results. Like people just view you as trustworthy for that reason, and you actually have a very open third eye. So I would not be shocked if you have like natural psychic abilities. We all do, but I think that yours are maybe a little bit stronger, because you're definitely not afraid to go against the grain. And I feel like you're the type of person who really tries to live in the present. Not all the time. I mean, obviously there's a part of you that is looking towards the future and the past, as we all do, but you try your best to narrow your focus to the present and what is important. There is a lot about balance here, and it's like you know how to be nurturing and comforting to others when they need it, and also to yourself, because you know that you work at your best when you feel good, and if you don't feel good, you can't work at your best. And so you know how to kind of remove yourself from life for a little bit to kind of give yourself what you need. You know how to give yourself love, and in return you know how to show others that love too. And I think there's a large amount of love around you in your life, and a lot of people who genuinely just adore you and feel so lucky to have you in their life. There's a lot of cat imagery here, so you might feel drawn to cats, or you might feel, and that doesn't have to be small cats, you know, it could be big cats. Like, you could be a Carol Baskin. Like, don't like murder your husband or anything, but you know, anyway, there's just a lot of power here. And if you're drawn to pile 1, there might be similarities there, because this is similar to pile 1 in a lot of ways. But I think what's really impressive about you is that you don't have your intuition figured out, but you know how to trust it anyway, because you have this idea of like, I know I'll get there when I get there, or like, I know I'll understand what I need to know once I do the thing. You don't continue to seek answers, and that's why it kind of feels less Virgo-y, because Virgos do tend to be very analytical. Like, no shade against you Virgos, like I got a Virgo moon, like I'm not hating, but it just does seem like you don't allow your fears or your thoughts to slow you down. I mean, the fact that we have the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords in reverse, people admire that, like, you might listen to other opinions, but you're not concerned with adhering to those opinions. And I feel like this makes a lot of sense with the, little Buddha that you chose, like the fact that it says harmony. I think that you're more focused on your internal harmony rather than creating harmony outside. And that actually benefits you in a lot of ways, because you're able to have a much more narrow focus on what you need to work on, rather than worrying about what everyone else is dealing with or what's going on there. I mean, you're incredibly competitive, and you have this like wonderful, almost like warrior-like spirit, but at the same time you are so solid, and people know that they can depend on you, and they love you for that. Especially if you have a family, or you're the head of a family or something like that, people really admire that they can come to you and they can trust you, and they know that you're not going to tell them anything that you wouldn't tell yourself. Like, you're not going to give people bad advice because you're jealous of them. You're not going to give people negative, and like you're not going to discourage people. You encourage people. And I think too, for some of you, if you have a partner, people really admire you and them together. They view you both as kind of like a power couple, and they love seeing you two work together. If not, you might have a lot of admirers, just like of whatever sexuality you are into. It does seem like a lot of people like want to be your counterpart, and I feel like this is difficult for you because you see the value in other people and you want love, but also you're very particular about who you get love from. And so I feel like you have spent a lot of time learning how to get love from yourself so that you don't have to depend on anyone else for it. I do think people really just admire that, when you have a goal, you're going to go after it, and you're not the type of person, I'm hearing like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And that's kind of like your energy, which I think is really admirable. Like, you're not the type of person to just say like negative things just because you want to hurt someone's feelings or anything like that. This is somebody who's very secure in themselves, at least most of the time. Because what's important to remember is that people, this is other people's perceptions of you. This isn't what you see yourself as. So, you might not feel that confident in yourself, but other people see you as quite confident in yourself and really admire that aspect about you. And the fact that you might be a man or woman of a few words, but what you do say really matters. And at the end of the day, you put your money where your mouth is, and you get to work. You focus on bringing those manifestations to life, to grounding those manifestations, to taking the things that are in your head and bringing them out in real life. you know, you are very independent, and you know, because you spent so much time cultivating that love for yourself, you have plenty of it to give to others, and people really love you for that because you're able to be there for others in a capacity that others are not able to be there for other people, if that makes sense. Like, people just wonder how you do it. Like, it doesn't make sense to them. But the biggest thing about you that people are starting to realize is that you trust your own inner compass more than anything else. And that is what gives you the most success. Rather than listening to the opinions of outsiders and what they think, you trust that your internal guidance is not going to lead you astray. You're independent and you are focused on your own success. And at the end of the day, people just really love that about you. And at the same time, you still have the capacity to be there for others that you truly care about. You probably give really good hugs. It's kind of one thing that I'm getting. And I also think that you are just very admirable in the way that you protect those that you truly care about. And I think that the people in your life that genuinely love you are really appreciative of that fact, that they know that they can count on you to protect them if they need it. They know they can count on you for wise words if they need it. And at the end of the day, they know that you're somebody that you're not going to give advice that you wouldn't follow yourself. And so you're just a very trustworthy person to come to when it comes to anybody else's issues or anything like that. But you've already, you know, made so many strides in your life. You should just be really proud of yourself for how far you've come and how much you've achieved. One thing I just also want to mention is that you do have this 5 energy. So some of you might be a life path 5. I honestly can't even remember what a life path 5, like what the specifics of that are. But the energy of the number 5 is about change. And actually this 32 reduces to 5, which is interesting. And you know, 3 would be the Empress and 2 would be the High Priestess. So you have this ability to nurture yourself, to nurture your creations, and to follow your intuition when it comes to grounding your creations into reality. So it's this really beautiful, like, harmonious mix of like these feminine energies and these masculine energies coming together to ground what's going on internally and create the life that you want. I mean, this is literally you effectively manifesting your own life, and people are just so impressed by your ability to create harmony, to create a life that you love, a balanced life that you love. And yeah, you should just be really proud of yourself, pile 2. So I'm going to go ahead now and pull some channeled messages from your guides and just see what your guides want you to know. This could have nothing to do with the reading that we're just talking about. It might be guidance about something else, but I wanted to add it anyway. So Spirit, what do you want, pile 2 to know at this time? Okay, well, to start, okay, so clairsentience, you feel it. So if you were unsure of how you listen to your intuitive guidance, there's a lot of you feeling like it's the right idea, trusting your gut feelings. You cannot understand our unconditional love for you if your heart is blocked. So maybe for some of you, you know how to give that love to others, but less so to yourselves. I know that contradicts everything that I was saying, but I think if you're able to extend a lot of that love to others, they assume that you're able to give it to yourself. So if loving yourself is something that you have been struggling with, you might want to think about how you show love to others, and then throw it back towards your, like flip the perspective and be like, okay, so if I was somebody that I cared about, how would I give them love? So if that's something that you need help with, there's that. We also have everyone has a soul truth. Stick to yours and practice tolerance for others. You may be the sole person with this truth, and that's okay. You are so special. And honestly, I love this card because it's true. You are following your soul's truth already. And if you aren't, this is your sign that you need to start to, because it's literally like your soul truth is what's getting you home, to your feeling of home, and your inner authority is what you need to trust. And on the back of the deck, we have you will achieve it. Stay focused. And this too shall pass. It's okay to rest. And you are the magician, 111. So you might see 111 a lot. But yeah, I would definitely say that this is a sign that, okay, and this is the second sign of this too will pass. And it's okay to rest. So if you've been like acting strong and acting like nothing's wrong, and you know, you just keep moving forward. Remember that it is okay to rest. And I'm about to pull these cards and I already see surrender, stress. So yeah, maybe you are more stressed than you realize. And while it's really nice to hear all of the wonderful things that you do, it's important to remember that not everything has to have like a specific function. You can just do things because you enjoy them, not because there's a productive outcome. Okay, so Spirit already wants you to surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. So yeah, maybe that's what you're in the process of doing right now. Surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. We also have surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. And on the back of the deck, we have surrender to creativity. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all the creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. So yeah, I feel like maybe you have been achieving a lot, but you've just been feeling stuck and you're maybe not sure what your next move is, or you're worried because you've, achieved this success and you're like, how do I keep going? Whatever it may be, Spirit is really saying to not allow all of that to stress you out. You've been doing a wonderful job, and like, you can't just keep going all the time. You have to give that love that you show to others to yourself. And the reason why I'm like, oh wow, you're giving all this love to yourself, like, because that's what people assume that you are doing. So if you're not doing that, that's what you should be doing, because other people are not really reaching out because they think that you're fine. So you might want to maybe reach out and say like, hey, like I need help or something like that. But if that's not something that you want to do, that's totally fine. But you really are a wonderful person and a wonderful friend and a really hard worker. And I think it's important to remember that, you're not a factory machine. Like, you're not a machine, you're a human. And humans need rest, humans need play, just as much as they need structure and encouragement and all those other things. So Pile 2, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching it all the way through. And thank you so much to everybody who watches my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me and my channel. So I just want to say thank you for doing so. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like. Definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. I love to read your comments, and I love to know how this resonates. If you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel and joined our ever-growing fam. I feel so lucky to have all of you here. Thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. If you guys chose the little olive green Buddha with wisdom on it, this is going to be your reading on what others admire about you. So to start, I am going to shuffle your tarot and look at your oracle cards, and we'll see what people admire about you. And then we will get some channeled messages from your guides and see what they want to say to you. And then also I'm going to pull some surrender cards to see if there's anything that you might need to let go of to help you just move forward in life and be more happy and confident in yourself. So I do want to remind everybody that I am channeling from the perspective of strangers, friends, family, romantic partners. So you might not directly believe these things about yourself, but that's why it's important to remember to see that it's what other people are seeing in you, and the fact that you have these wonderful innate qualities within you. But we already have a card wanting to come out, so we're going to start with the 9 of Swords in reverse. Let's see, Spirit, what else? What else do people admire about Pile 3? Okay, we have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Which way does this want to go? Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords, either upright or reversed, depending on which way. Okay, upright. Queen of Swords upright. So we could definitely have some air signs here. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We have the Six of Wands in reverse. One more, Spirit. What people admire about Pile. We have the Three of Swords upright, and on the back of the deck we have the Tower. Okay. Wow. Pretty intense energies. I'm gonna move this over just a little bit. I seem to be like pulling just one too many each time. Okay. So let's look at your oracles now. To start, we have Starkeeper, Cosmic Ancestor, Seed the Light by Staying Grounded. We have the Observer, the Horse, Serene Swan, Elegance, Purity, Tranquility, Regal Goddess, Cloaked in White Feathers, Bestow Me the Gifts of Love and Beauty. We have Self-Care, Take Care of Your Wonderful Self First. And finally, we have Love Grows Love. So I definitely actually think that I'm not really channeling from a stranger's perspective. I actually think I'm channeling from the perspective of the people around you that you're close to. Because there's a lot about your resilience here that is being shown here. And also, I think that some of this is actually coming from your spirit guides, and also, if you believe in this sort of thing, energetic entities of love and light, of course, that you might have soul ties to, that are following your journey on Earth. So what I'm seeing here is that you possess a lot of mental energy, so much so that it's actually really difficult for you sometimes to ground what you see in your mind's eye and your third eye into reality. I also think you're constantly fighting a battle with your brain, and not even just your brain, but like with your spirit in general. You might be prone to dealing with things like depression or anxiety. It doesn't have to be that serious. It could just be like struggling with negative thoughts, struggling with not believing in yourself. But it really does seem like you've had to watch yourself fail. You've had to see yourself hit rock bottom in order to understand what you're truly meant to do. It's almost like a lot of the people around you have seen you try and fail and come back stronger and better than you were before. It's like maybe something that you were invested in, you knew wasn't right for you, but it's kind of like the sunken cost fallacy, where we believe that if we just keep trying or just keep investing more energy, that somehow it'll change or it'll get better, when in reality we're just like screwing ourselves over more. So it does kind of seem like there was a tower moment in your life that occurred that really made you look at your life from a higher perspective than you once did. And while this tower moment seemed horrible to start, I think that you're realizing just how important it was for you to actualize who you truly are, because you possess a lot of power and a lot of beautiful energy. But that energy gets wasted when you're not able to ground it into the 3D. And I do think at times there might be some of you that feels like you're more at home in the stars, or more at home in the fantasy worlds that you create for yourself, rather than the objective reality here. And what's interesting is that we do have the Queen of Swords here. And so I think a lot of people view you as someone very rational and like level-headed, intelligent, objective, not very emotional. But the thing is that it's not that you're like that. This is more so kind of just your ability to assert yourself in the world without having to show people that you've been through a lot, or that you're dealing with something. It's the fact that we have the Observer here, and it makes sense with the Queen of Swords as well. Some people might view you as apathetic. And that's not necessarily true. It's just that you know that there are certain things not worth your time and energy. And in fact, you know what it's like to be at rock bottom. You know what it's like to feel like shit. And you know what it's like to just not believe in yourself and not be happy. And I think you realized that there was no point in dwelling in this energy because it just made you feel crappy. You didn't get a whole lot done and you really weren't able to be your truest self. And so I think that actually what people admire about you is that you've been able to fail, to experience heartbreak, to experience horrible things that nobody ever wants to experience, and come back stronger from it and gain wisdom from it and become a better version of yourself and guide others through these difficult experiences. I feel like a lot of people think about you before you had gone through all these things, and they look at you now and they're just really impressed at your higher perspective towards things and the elegance and the ability to move through these issues with grace and just this like beautiful, loving energy. You definitely have an old soul, and I definitely think that some of these things, like especially if your life like in this incarnation hasn't been too rough, I think that there's a lot of things that your soul has experienced in past lives that have a residual effect on you now that you might be starting to discover. But the most beautiful thing that you're discovering is unconditional love for yourself, and learning how when you have love for yourself, it in turn creates more love in the world. And this is a beautiful, beautiful perspective to have. And it's really awesome because the fact that we have regal goddess cloaked in white feathers, bestow me the gifts of love and beauty. I really think you are starting to see your own beauty, and you're starting to see the beauty in loving yourself and this self-care and taking the time and energy to nurture yourself and not, overworking yourself, like, or for feeling like you have to force yourself to suffer all the time. I feel like you're also learning how to stand up to your mental body and ground yourself so that you're not just constantly stuck in this whirlwind of thoughts. And another beautiful thing I see about you, and I think is like you know that there's a possibility that whatever you're working towards could fail. But you know that you're going to be taken care of anyway, and any failures are just leading you to your next success. And that's the best perspective you could ever have. And with this horse spirit here, this is somebody who is unstoppable, expansive, and in fact, you are a light worker. Whether you identify with that term or not, your guides prefer to call you that because you are able to channel this divine information and ground it into reality. And if you haven't yet, this is your sign that you need to, because you have a lot of wonderful insights. In fact, you could be an energy reader, or you could just have some type of psychic ability like claircognizance, clairsentience. You could have all of them, something like that, where you just have a lot of innate gifts. You just are trying to figure out the best ways to use them in a practical way. But what I'm seeing here is that for a lot of you, you've already learned this. For some, you're still discovering this. But the way to figure it out is through self-care. And actually what I'm seeing here is that people just really admire that, like, you're hard to read, like, and not in a way of like as an energy reader, like pile 1, for example, was really difficult for me to read, but it's not the same thing where I'm having a hard time channeling your energy. I'm getting the general gist of like what's going on here. But I think for a typical person who wouldn't read energy, they do see you as somebody hard to read. Like maybe you have like resting bitch face or something like that. And so people might look at you and think that you don't like them, or they might just be intimidated by you, and so they might project their own insecurities onto you. But the beautiful thing is that you don't let that affect you. You might have in the past. For some of you, you might be like Hoyoke empath or something like that. But really what I'm seeing here is there's this beautiful energy of transmuting any negativity that comes your way and not holding space for it, because the only person that you've been holding space for is yourself and like your own self-love. And I also, but of course that doesn't mean that you don't hold space for others, but I think when it comes to your own needs, you've had these like tower moments and these series of like unfortunate events, truthfully, that have gotten you to like kind of surrender to what the universe has planned for you, and get you to this point where you've realized, you know, listening to the outside world hasn't gotten me very far. Maybe I should take all this internal guidance that I've been getting and ground it. I really do think that you are like a starseed of some kind, or you do have some starseed energy. But I also think that you've had past lives on Earth, or Earth-like planes. Doesn't have to necessarily be this Earth. But yeah, you're the type of person who's just constantly taking in information about everything around you. And that can be daunting and overwhelming, but it also gives you power, because you learn from other people's mistakes, you learn from other people's failures, and of course you learn from your own as well. And I think one of the most beautiful things about you that other people admire is that no matter how many times you get knocked down, you still get back up, and you get back up not with the same viewpoint you had when you got knocked down. You come back with a higher perspective than you had before, and that's really what wisdom is. And I think that this is a really beautiful energy that you all have, pile 3, because y'all are just unstoppable. And I just have to say, if there's any horse girls in this pile, shout out to my horse girls. I'm a horse girl, and like, I'm not ashamed of that. And you know what? People love to shit on horse girls, but horses are cool, and they're just like big dogs, and they have these dope personalities. And like, honestly, if horses could talk, the drama in the stables would be so interesting. I swear to God, we would have horse reality shows, and they would be like super interesting. Like, fucking, you know, Roy the horse would sit down and be like, listen, like, Domino, yeah, you know, he's great at loping, he's great at XYZ, but you know what? He keeps stealing my carrots, and I think he's fake. Like, like, horses have best friends, horses have lovers, horses have enemies. Like, it's so fascinating. I wish I could just study like the relationships between horses. But you know what? Most people don't understand that, because they just view horse girls as girls that like horses, but they don't understand that there's a lot more that goes into this shit than just we like horse. Like, it's anyway, that rant was unnecessary. But I feel like this pile would at the very least appreciate it, because you like to look at things from different perspectives than just what people believe. Instead of people telling you what to believe, you decide what you want to believe. And I think that overall you have a very good spirit, where instead of contributing to negativity, you would rather transmute that negativity into something positive. Now, one thing I'm seeing here is that there is bouts of you of like, there's bouts of unbalanced energy here, and I feel called to say that you're going to get this stuff figured out, and you have a lot more internal guidance available to you than you realize. And I think that you have been listening to it more, but there's even more that you could actually be utilizing. For you, the most important thing is discernment, and I think that you're already really great at doing that. You're very intelligent, you're very bright, and people trust your opinions. But what's interesting is that, you know, of all the piles, there's a very distinct need to channel from a more spiritual perspective rather than what other people around you see. And I think that's because what other people see around you, like, yeah, it's helpful, but I also think a lot of people don't get your true essence the way a spiritual perspective does. What I'm seeing here is to just keep going, that you're doing a wonderful job, and that you're really intelligent, and look to your past for any answers that you have. Like, actually, no, I'm taking that back, because some of you might overanalyze your past to the point where it doesn't help you, but a lot of you have already planted seeds that are going to grow and be very fruitful. And you should be very proud of like where you're going in terms of that. Overall though, people, like, you might be very physically attractive. You might have like really beautiful hair, or like facial hair or something like that. You could also just be a very like, you could just have a very dominating presence, like when you enter a room without even trying. But overall, I think people view you as somebody pretty attractive. either in how you carry yourself or how you approach situations or physically. But like overall, there's just a lot of people just don't understand you very well. And I think that's because you're still understanding yourself, and there's a lot of layers to uncover here. And it's kind of like through your own successes and failures that you're actually learning more about yourself and how you're gaining wisdom. So yeah, overall, people admire you for your ability to love, your ability to come back from difficult situations and things, and your ability to give yourself that love and help others along the way. I mean, really stand up people in pile 3, I must say. You should be really proud of yourself. But I am going to get some channeled messages from your guides now and see what they want you to know, because clearly they're already like hijacking the reading anyway. So Spirit, what do you want pile 3 to know? What is important for pile 3 to understand? Okay. So the first one that came out, and it's interesting, this came out for pile 2 as well. You cannot understand our unconditional love for you if your heart is blocked. So yeah, maybe some of you are still healing your heart from something. And this is about your guides and how much your guides love you. And so you can't understand how much your guides love you if you don't understand the nature of unconditionally loving yourself. And the fact that like we can do things that are really messed up, we can do things that we're not proud of, but if you know how to do like, if you know how to unconditionally love yourself and move forward and like shit like that, I mean, you're pretty golden. But yeah, your guides like want to reinforce the idea that they love you very, very much, and they want you to believe in yourself and your abilities. And we have 222. You are in alignment with the divine plan. So if you've been seeing 222 a lot, there's your confirmation that you're exactly where you need to be right now, and you should be really proud of yourself. And also, the spirit world is much more real than your physical one. Be open to us and we'll show ourselves. So yeah, maybe your guides are wanting to be more upfront. I would definitely say, especially any guides from like not Earth, they're very interested in communicating with you. And I think that there's this desire on a soul level for you to be more open to this stuff, but I think like maybe from an ego level you have a hard time because it's more comfortable to be in the logical and the physical. But I would urge you to maybe just let go of that and just be open-minded, you know, just observe. You don't have to make any judgments, but just observe it and be objective and see what can happen. We also have Who is Against the Queen Will Die, which is a 90 Day Fiancé reference, but this is spirit totally saying like, don't worry about anybody that does not want your highest good or does not want to see you succeed. Like, we'll handle it, and just trust that you're doing what's best for you. And oh my God, yep, here it is, past life healing. There's definitely shit from past lives that you might want to look into healing. I can't really go into like how to do that because that's like a whole other video in itself, and I might make a video on that, but truthfully I'm still kind of working through a lot of stuff with like past life healing, and like I don't want to report information that I don't have like all of the answers to yet. So I would really encourage you to do your own research, and you're clearly smart enough to, so you don't need me anyway. I have a message for you. Pick your favorite playlist, hit shuffle 3 times. If the answer is unclear, acknowledge it and pay attention to future signs. So yeah, it seems like your guides, oh my God, and we have another 90 Day Fiancé reference. So we have Almost There, Lazy. So Spirit's saying you're closer to a goal that you've been wanting than you realize. And past life healing might have something to do with that. But yeah, with that, pick your message, like your, I just forgot what I was saying. Yeah, Spirit is saying like, if you do that and you don't understand what the message is, just acknowledge it and like note it and move on. And typically the answer will come when you least expect it. But Spirit, what does pile 3 need to surrender in order to move forward in their life and on their divine plan, please? Okay. Wow, pile 2 got this as well. So maybe some of you want to watch pile 2. In a quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. This top one wants to come out. This came out in pile 2 as well. Okay. So I'm going to put it down here, but I'm going to keep shuffling. Surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. Let's see, what else, Spirit? What else does pile 3 need to know at this time? Okay. I guess we're getting all of those. So let's start with the back of the deck. Surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that Spirit is guiding you always. And I love this card because it's exactly what I was saying with exploring the spiritual stuff more. Surrender to wonder and awe. Open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. Sounds kind of dirty. Surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. Holy shit, I literally have a message about that in my channel messages. So yeah, that's very true. And we also have surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to Spirit. Doing so will help you bring you to clarity or even closer to the problem. And surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. So if you've been struggling with any of this, there's a wide array of advice for you all. But I am going to leave this reading here, pile 3. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through. And thank you so much to everybody who has been watching my ads. I'm so grateful for everybody who spends any time to support me and my channel. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for exchanging energy with me in that way. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like. Definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. I would love to hear. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed and joined my channel and not a little fan we got going on here. But I am going to leave this here. Thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose the blue Buddha that says health, this is going to be your reading. This is the 8th house tarot, which is what you picked. So what I am going to be doing is shuffling your tarot on camera. We're going to see what others admire about you, and this can be from a variety of different perspectives. So this can be from strangers, this could be from the people closest to you, this could be really, we're leaving the perspective open, and even kind of Spirit's getting in on it too in some of the piles. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out. So we'll look at that first. And then we will pull some channeled messages from your guides, and finally see if there's anything that you need to surrender in order to move forward with your purpose and the next part of your journey. So let's go ahead and see, Spirit, what do people admire about pile 4, please? Okay, well, to start, we have the Devil in reverse, Capricorn energy there. What else do people admire? Okay, so we also have the Fool in reverse, the Page of Cups upright, the King of Cups in reverse, the 10 of Wands upright. Let's get one more, please, Spirit. Okay. And finally, we have the Queen of Cups upright, and on the back of the deck, the 3 of Wands. This is really wonderful. To start, I'm just gonna look at the placements. We have Capricorn energy. We have a lot of water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. With the 10 of Wands, we have Saturn in Sagittarius, and with the 3 of Wands, we have Sun in Aries. Okay, let's look at your oracles now. So to start, we have Get Creative. Empathic Starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. We have In Between Worlds, Clever Crow, mystery, intelligence, cycle of life, observer of birth, life, and death, teach me creative and destructive magic. We have priorities, focus on what truly matters to you. And on the back of the deck, and the last oracle is the Stingray. So there's more water energy there. So what do people admire about you, pile 4? A lot. You definitely don't get enough credit for all that you do. That's one thing I want to say. And I would say of all the piles, this is definitely the pile with the strongest, so far I haven't done pile 5 yet, so I can't say for pile 5, but this is definitely the pile with the strongest and most apparent psychic abilities. It really doesn't shock me, especially because you guys chose the 8th house tarot, which is Scorpio energy. It's all about transformations, endings, and beginnings. And we even have the Clever Crow here, observer of birth, life, and death. So I definitely think of all the piles, this is definitely the pile with the most natural psychic abilities. And I definitely think that you struggled for a really, really, really long time with these abilities because you weren't really sure why you had them, or maybe even that you had them. Maybe you just thought you were different. Maybe you just thought you were weird. But now that you're starting to understand your gifts, you're greatly benefiting the people around you. And if you aren't using them yet, more people want you to use them, because you have excellent creative abilities, and I actually think that you channel the divine whenever you do focus on these creative endeavors. So one thing that I'm seeing here just with the Devil in reverse is that, one, y'all know how to have fun, and it's quite possible that at one point in time, or maybe even now, because I do want to mention too, there might be aspects of yourself that you're still coming into. For some, and for others, you've already transcended. So just keep that in mind. But with this Devil card here, there's definitely habits that maybe you did to self-soothe that were maladaptive and maybe didn't help you. This could be like substances or something like that, that you've really done an excellent job of overcoming. And this can literally be stuff as small as like things in your routine that don't serve you. It definitely seems like on your end, there's been a huge need to let go of the things that were holding you back, and Spirit's really showing me that you've done that. With the Stingray here, the Stingray is all about developing a spine and having the confidence to follow your gut, even if it's not what everybody else wants for you. And I think that you are in this transition process right now with this in between worlds, which this is actually more about the physical world and the spirit world. So for a lot of you, you might be like a medium or have the ability to channel the other side or other sides. I feel like there's a bunch of different sides. So you're kind of an edge walker in that way, where you teeter between the physical and the ethereal. And that's a very difficult, like, just place to be in, but it's what you were literally designed to do, because being too far in either world isn't good for you. And I think you know that. You carry a lot of burdens by yourself that you are afraid to give to others. And I think a lot of people recognize like your independent spirit and how much you carry alone without telling anyone. And I think people really admire that about you, the fact that you can carry a lot of difficult energy and transcend it. And you have this ability to extend your heart to others in ways that are not self-serving. Like you genuinely put yourself out there to help others and give others love without expecting anything in return. And I also think you have this really lighthearted energy about you where you don't take things too seriously. And I think that for others who maybe don't get to know you very intimately, they might view you as like, oh, just really sweet and nice and like naive. But there's a lot more to you that you don't show others, which I think is really, really dope. your emotional depths are actually a lot more developed than people think they are. You just don't really show them very often. And I think that people know that you're not one to cross, that you're not one to mess with, but the people that do, they find out the hard way. And the funny thing about it is that it's not like that you really do anything. It's just that you have a really strong spiritual team around you. You have a lot of positive energy around you. And people that try to bring your light down end up getting the effects of that anyway. Like, you don't even have to do anything. In fact, the more you focus on the light and what you're meant to do and your path, and the less you focus on negativity, the more you actualize your true potential, your priorities. The more you focus on what truly matters to you, the more you become the most authentic version of yourself. And I think people see that you have a really big, a really kind heart. And with this empathic starseed here, you're very likely an empath. I would not be shocked if for some of you, you know this already. There's definitely clairsentient abilities here, and we have a lot about the emotional body here with all the cups. But I think that you're looking beyond just what you can see now and are starting to explore this empathic ability and your abilities in general beyond just the earthly plane, because there is this part of you that is a starseed, and you might not resonate with that, so that maybe that part's not for you. But a lot of you do have, like, you might feel like your home is somewhere out in the stars or something like that. And there's truth to that. Your home is here, but whatever resonates with you in your heart, like, that's kind of home to you. And you do have this mix of different energies. You have earthly energy in you that you may not want to admit is there, but it is. And you also have this, like, star energy about you. So you're kind of this beautiful mesh of conflicting energies, and that can be a really hard energy to sit in, just because it's like the things that you want and desire are constantly going back and forth. But people kind of view you as, like, enigmatic. They don't really understand you. And it's okay, because you know that you don't even really understand yourself either. And you're just kind of going through life like, what the heck is all this, man? Like, this is just nuts. But I think that you have a lot of creative energy that's dying to be expressed, if it's not being expressed already, because people view you as somebody very creative. And I think a lot of people actually find you very triggering to be around, because you kind of effectively mirror the things within them that they need to heal. And yeah, people don't really like that too much. And you might kind of internalize that and think, what's wrong with me? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with you. Well, I mean, I guess there's things wrong with everybody, but, like, objectively, like, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just people, like, seeing things in themselves that they don't like, and that's super triggering, and so they might blame it on you. You might have definitely gone through an emo phase at some point. So if you did, I think a lot of people might look back on that time of you and, like, just in fondness of like who you were then and who you are now. But you're definitely a lot more strong-willed than you once were, and you're starting to trust yourself and your own energy a lot more than you once did. And you don't allow the limiting beliefs that used to make you think that you couldn't do something or that you couldn't achieve something. You don't allow those limiting beliefs to hold you back anymore. You're a lot more expansive than you once were. And I think that you're falling into your leadership abilities, and your horizons are literally expanding, and you're running towards your destiny, and people can see that. And I think it intimidates the hell out of some and really excites others, because the people that love you and want to see you grow, they love seeing you run towards your greatest potential. They love seeing you actualize your potential. And the haters that don't like you actualizing your own potential, it freaks them out. Because you've got a lot of power within you that maybe you never realized you had. You've done a lot of growing and a lot of maturing, and you're finally starting to stand in your truth and overcome the things that were holding you back from being yourself and being your authentic self. And so a lot of people now are very, there's a lot of eyes on you, a lot more eyes on you than there once were. And I don't say that to freak you out. I say that to believe in yourself, because all these other people believe in you, and you should believe in yourself too. With this King of Cups in reverse, I feel like you're in the process of embodying the masculine energy of creation. And so with this Get Creative, I really think you've got all these wonderful ideas in your head and in your heart, but now it's time to ground them into reality and kind of understand the cycle of creation, because it will help you understand the cycle of life. I think for a lot of you, there's different purposes to these abilities, like the semantics of what you're meant to do with them, but the general idea is that you were born with these abilities for a reason. And yes, they created a lot of hardship growing up, but you don't have to believe those things now. You're starting to learn now that being different is a blessing, not a curse, and that there's a lot of things that you can do that other people can't, and that you should be really proud of that. You're letting go of your vices that you needed to cope, because you can create the life that you want now, or you will be able to do that. I just think there's a lot, for a lot of you, there's a need to understand your abilities more deeply. And I know I keep saying I'm gonna make a video about being an empath, and I am. That is like on the top of my list. I'm just getting things figured out in my own life, but I will make a video about being an empath, because it's not an easy thing to do. And obviously, empaths, we've been dragged through the mud in the media, and there's a lot of misunderstandings about what that even actually is. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of work to do on that end. I promise that video is coming, but I want it to be good, so like I'm not gonna just churn out something lazy. So be on the lookout for that at some point. But yeah, some of you might be practicing witches or something like that, and you might actually have ancestral lineage involved in that, so that's really beautiful. People are afraid of you. I don't even want to say that people admire you, because people are afraid of you. They're afraid of what you're able to pick up about them. They're afraid of what you're able to do in these different worlds. They're afraid of the fact that they don't understand what's going on the inside. Like, the way you view the world is completely flipped from the way they view it. And so for a lot of people, it's very scary. But it's beautiful. And you should be very proud of yourself, because what people admire is that you have the ability to broaden others' horizons and help them see things that they couldn't see before. Just because we can't see something with our own two eyes doesn't mean it's not there. You know, we can't see ultraviolet light. We can't see, I'm pretty sure we can't see infrared. Like, there's tons of different shit that we can't see, but we know we exist because science. Like, and I think Spirit is just wanting you to know that this wealth of creativity within you was not meant to just waste inside of you. It was meant to be grounded into the 3D and to spread your creations far and wide. You should be really proud of yourself, pile 4, because you are achieving wonderful things, and you're constantly in this cycle of creation and destruction and chaos and order, and it's really beautiful. Like, you're getting where you need to go, pile 4. That's all I can say. It's like, people just admire your ability to be true to yourself, even when people just don't understand what you're about. And that's okay. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to explain what you're about. But like, man, you are a very special being, and you should just be very proud of yourself and how far you've come. Your generosity, your love for others, your love for humanity and for animals and for plants and for just all of the universe's creatures, big and small, is something very special. And we need people like you in the world, because a compassionate heart, I think, is like one of the most powerful things ever. And like, yeah, heart is just a big thing. I mean, like, when the odds are stacked against you, having a big heart and drive to keep going can be what the ultimate determinator, that's not a word, ultimate, I don't know. It's the biggest, like, determining factor of, like, your success sometimes. And I think that in your case, as long as your heart's in whatever you're doing, you're gonna do a great job. So let's get you some channeled messages from your spirit guides and see what they want to tell you. And I know that this was a lot of you are very introverted, so you don't have a lot of people viewing you anyway. Like, I don't say that from a shady perspective, but I do think that you don't put yourself out there as much as maybe you should. But a lot of judgments about you are like Spirit's not letting them come through because they're inaccurate and there's no point in telling you about them. Like, even if they are positive, like there's no point, like, oh my gosh, I love this too, because okay, so I don't know if you guys saw this, but the first card to come out was the Emperor. This is Sir George Carlin. Take the lead, you will succeed. And I was thinking, oh, maybe this pile was pile 4, because 4 is the Emperor. And yeah, so y'all need to embody that Aries energy. I hope I have some other Aries is here. And take the lead in what you want to go after. But we also have inaction is also inaction. Get out of your head and make those dreams a reality. And Spirit is absolutely right about that. And you have been doing that, but we can always go harder, right? Or we can delegate tasks to other people so that we can get more help. Root chakra, yeah. So for you guys, there's a need to be grounded and to come back to earth sometimes, to ground these ideas into reality, because you might be too far in other worlds. You'll miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott, ASO Tarot. So yeah, obviously that's a bit, but go after the things that you want to try. You never know until you go after them. Like, yeah, you're gonna fail if you don't try, but if you do try and you fail, there's that, you're one step closer to finding what's gonna work. And we all are at different places in our journey. Be patient with yourself and others. And yeah, I think that's important to remember. Like, you know, your journey is uniquely your own, and you cannot focus on anyone else's journey or compare yourself to anyone else's journey, because their journey is not yours. And it says connect to me through the first crystal that comes to your mind. So there's a guide that's wanting to connect to you. So whatever crystal comes to mind, or it could be like a deity or something like that. So whatever crystal comes to mind first, that is the crystal that you want to use to connect to this guide. So maybe if you've been trying to connect with a specific guide, ask that guide, how can I connect to you? Like, what crystal can I connect to you with? And like, listen to your intuition on that, like what they say. Oh my gosh, this is like a message of the day. This is coming out in all the piles. You cannot understand our unconditional love for you if your heart is blocked. And I don't think your heart is blocked at all, but I do think it might be in certain cases, but you might forget that how much your guides unconditionally love you. And as I do that, we have 333, your spiritual team is supporting your dreams. So yeah, you have so much spiritual energy backing you up on whatever you're trying to do. So please trust yourself. Like, when you're having all of these like ideas and this brilliant inspiration to do something, like, there's merit in it. Like, you should be following these dreams. But let's see what you need to surrender at this point. So Spirit, what does pile 4 need to surrender in order to move forward on their path and be the best version of themselves that they can be, please? Surrender stress. Oh yeah, that's a big one. Okay. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to center. Yeah, we don't want you to be stressed. We also have surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. We also have surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. And on the back of the deck, we have surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and surrounded by positive people. And I agree as well. And we need to read this one too. Surrender low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. This is beautiful, and I definitely think that you guys needed to hear all of these. So pile 4, I hope this reading helped. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through if you did. And thank you so much to everybody who has been watching my ads. I can definitely tell that y'all have been exchanging energy with me in that way, and I just want to say thank you so much, because it is the easiest and simplest way to support me and my channel. So thank you for doing that. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you commented down below and let me know how it resonates. I love to hear. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you left a like, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed and hit that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new video to my channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you are watching this, and I hope you will come back and visit me again soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile 5. If you guys chose the little purple Buddha that says Faith in the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, this is going to be your reading on what others admire about you. So in all the readings, Spirit has really come through in similar but different ways. I do want to note that like the perspectives shift, and so if certain things don't sound like you, it might be because you don't believe you hold those aspects, but other people do. It also, Spirit is low-key hijacking some of the readings to give out different messages, so be prepared for that. Sometimes you can come in with the intention of getting answers about something, and Spirit will just be like, nah, you need to know about this. So, okay. We're going to go ahead and start and see, Spirit, what do people admire about Pile 5? Okay. So to start, we have Death, Scorpio energy here. We have the Six of Swords. Actually, no. Scratch it. We're going Eight of Swords, Death, Six of Swords. Reclamation is the Devil in reverse. I might change the order of that. Actually, yeah, there we go. That's better. I know they all came out in like different ways, but I like to put them where they feel right intuitively. Okay, so we have Capricorn and Scorpio energy here, just to start off with, and some air energy. Let's see what else, Spirit. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man, meditation, Pisces energy. We see Neptune in the back there. We have the Emperor in reverse, which is the Monarch here, and that is Aries energy. And on the back of the deck, we have Strength in reverse, which is Leo energy. So, wow, we've got a lot of major arcanas here. And actually, yep, this is going to be another Spirit's got thoughts and doesn't really care about what other people have to say, because this is pretty major. Move that over here. Yep, that feels better. Okay, so let's look at your oracles now. So to start, we have Messenger, Sirius energy, bringing harmony and balance. We have the Revolutionary, Lizard, Magical Moon, take me on a spirit journey to remove the layers and reveal my inner strength. That strength's already coming out. And we got fire energy with the Lizard, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, which we literally already have Aries and Leo up here, as well as Capricorn, Scorpio, and Pisces. So we've got a lot. We also have Citrine, goal setting, abundance, positive energy, and Scry Mirror. So this is going to be kind of mixed. Some of this is what others admire about you, but Spirit's kind of telling me you need more of a different type of pep talk. Because there are really wonderful things about you that Spirit's really proud of your ability to transcend. But I think you still maybe lack the faith in yourself that you really need in order to fulfill your soul's mission. So let's just start with the Eight of Swords. You're definitely the type of person where your mind is your worst enemy. Like straight up out the gate, your brain is your worst enemy. Your thoughts, your limiting beliefs are the biggest obstacle in your own success. You definitely have Starseed energy, Syrian energy to be specific. It could be Sirius A or Sirius B. But you're different, and you know that. You know you're different. You know you're weird. But like, and I don't even say weird in a bad way. Being weird's awesome. But you are somebody who has probably already undergone some ego deaths, has undergone some transformations, and you're on your path, or you're just beginning. Because I see two groups. Some people are just starting to awaken, and others have been awakened. But awakening is a continuous process. Same with spiritual shit. It all just keeps going. It never ends. So, from an outsider's perspective, there's a lot of admiration about your ability to transcend your limiting beliefs and transform yourself into who you know you can be. And also burn away beliefs of others that do not see your full potential. You've been healing from a lot of really difficult things that have held you back in the past. And I think one thing that you need to learn, just straight out the gate, pile 5, is that, oh, I'm hearing the Winnie, is it Winnie the Pooh? It might not be Winnie the Pooh, but it's, you're braver than you seem, stronger. I don't know. It's like you're braver than something, you're stronger than you believe, and something else, meow meow. That's not what the real quote is, but it's like, you're better than you think you are, buddy. You got to start believing in it. Some of the people closest to you have seen you in your low points. And so to see you moving forward now is something really amazing to them. They're really, really proud of you. This lizard card here, you're somebody who's pretty sensitive. That Neptune energy is really being highlighted here because you are likely spiritual, a dreamer, somebody that might get lost in their own inner worlds. And that's a beautiful thing. But it's difficult when you have to come out of that and then like exist in the real world. So Spirit is commending your ability to focus on your own internal harmony more. But now you've established more internal harmony, and now you're trying to focus on grounding a lot of the things that you want to do. And what Spirit is really showing me is that you are a divine channel for a lot of spiritual energy. So if you're drawn to pile 4, you might be connected to pile 4 or pile 1, because I remember I talked about citrine in pile 1. Yeah, if you felt drawn, I guess if you felt drawn to any of the piles, you should check those out as well. But for those of you that have been able to receive guidance, or others, those of you who have channeled guidance for others in some way, shape, or form, people are just really impressed with your insight, with your intuition, with your abilities. You have this attitude that's very like, go with the flow and chill. You want to move forward from things, and you might be the type of person who's pretty non-confrontational. And you might also have those times where you kind of just retreat from the world, but when you come back stronger. You're very different, and there's a reason for it. Spirit brought you to this world to light your fire and help you change things in this world. And it's not easy when other people have conflicting opinions. The lizard is somebody who is pretty sensitive. And so it's important for you guys, pile 5, to know when to push that guidance away, because it's just, well, it's not guidance, it's hate. I feel really tired. Are you guys tired? Because I definitely feel exhaustion. Maybe you guys don't know where you're headed next. You don't feel, you're in kind of a low right now, I would say. And if not, that's wonderful. But in this moment, I'm talking to the people who are. That's okay. You can't be productive and motivating every single day all the time, because sometimes we need time to just relax and to have faith. And I think it's very fitting that you picked this pocket Buddha, because I think it's time for you to start having faith in yourself, because other people see what you're capable of doing. It's more just believing that you actually have the potential to do that, because people look at you and they realize that they could do the same things that you're doing. And Spirit wants you to know that if there's anybody that you look up to, you have the ability to achieve what they have as well. Maybe not in the exact same way, but you can take inspiration from it and do something really special and meaningful with it. You are probably a gifted writer or a gifted speaker. Maybe not, and you might be saying, like, I hate giving speeches. Like, yeah, you might be, like, everybody hates giving speeches, like, duh. But, I mean, I'm sure there's some weirdos that like it, but see, being weird's a good thing. So, like, I'm not even insulting them by calling them weirdos. I'm just like, that's crazy. But the point is that you're really gifted when it comes to using your voice. and you can use your voice to accomplish a lot. But if your voice stays stuck in your head and it doesn't come out, nobody's going to benefit from hearing from it. And so there's a need for you to reclaim a lot of your own energy and stop avoiding it and instead embrace it and move forward, because you're kind of stuck with your own energy for the rest of your life, whether you like it or not. And I think people are seeing, though, you have been improving, you have been growing a lot, and people are really impressed by what you've already achieved. And what I'm seeing here is that there's a need for you to go in within more, which you probably have been doing, but Spirit's saying even more. Grounding and protecting as well is something you might want to pay more attention to, protecting like your aura in general. But what I'm really seeing here is that you have an excellent ability to get through to people. And it's like you can see the beauty and the value in everyone else, and you can see the strengths in everyone else, but you really have a hard time seeing them in yourself. And that's when it's important to go in and isolate and not have any comparisons to others, because you are really wonderful, but it's hard for you to see that sometimes when you get bogged down by your own limiting beliefs or your fears or traumas that you haven't worked through. But Spirit's saying it's okay. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. You're in this process of self-discovery, and what's cool is that one thing that people love about you is that they learn more about themselves through you, and that you have the ability to show people who they truly are, and you have the ability to help other people transform. But you have to be able to turn that ability inwards, because it's like you maybe haven't gained control of it yet and are not sure how to embrace all of this energy. And so Spirit is saying, like, maybe you need to take a step back and just start setting goals and planning and focus on just what you can do in the now and try not to overthink too much, right? You have this uncanny ability to forgive others, but I think you struggle to forgive yourself at times. And I think what other people really admire you for, Pile 5, is that you do have the ability to transform. You do have the ability to overcome your limiting beliefs, but people don't see a lot of the lengths that you have to go to overcome these things. The people closest to you do, and so those people admire that. But people outside of it, they might fear you because you come in with a lot of power, and that's only because you've taken the time to rest, and then you come back and you're like ready for it. You're ready to go. You're ready to roll. And I'm honestly like a little bit frustrated with Spirit right now, because I can just totally feel them. Like, I don't feel present right now. And that's probably because maybe you haven't been very present in your general day-to-day. You might be really struggling right now, so I'm so sorry if you are. And it's okay to ask for help if you are. But what I'm like seeing is that, Spirit can't even tell you what others admire about you, because you wouldn't really believe it anyway. You're gonna have to kind of start seeing some of this for yourself. How revolutionary would it be for you to just look at yourself and realize that all of the special things and abilities other people have, you have too? Because it really doesn't matter what other people think for you guys. Not that it matters a lot for the others, because this was supposed to be about like hyping you up. And I think that hyping you up, anybody else hyping you up is not going to be as effective as you hyping you up. And there's a need for you to stand in your own power and recognize that you're the shit and that you can go after anything that you want. You're so much stronger than you realize. The only thing you might need, like if you need to regain that strength, is that you probably just kind of need to control who you're around and control your boundaries and control who you allow into your space and into your circle, because you have all these wonderful ideas, but I think maybe they get lost in the fray of just all the sensory information you're taking in all the time. With that lizard energy, you're so sensitive, and you have to realize that. But people recognize that you're a force to be reckoned with. And I think that for some people that are afraid of change, that's really scary. But for others, inspiring, and spirit needs you to be out here being yourself and following your soul's path, because you're guiding the way for others to come next. It's not easy being a pioneer, you know. The Oregon Trail, when you play the Oregon Trail, it's not like, oh, you got to stop at Chuck E. Cheese and have a good time. It's like, oh, you got cholera, sorry. Like, oh, you got bit by a snake, that sucks. Like, oh, you just died of dysentery, that sucks. Like, you know, following a revolutionary path, a pioneer path, is hard because there's nobody to set the stage for you. There's nobody to, you are paving the path for others. And that's really difficult because you're going to be met with resistance. You're going to be met with, hopefully not dysentery, cholera, or venomous snakes, but you're going to be met with challenges and you're going to be knocked down. It's not going to be easy. And the people that come after you are going to have a much easier time than you did. But that goes to show how strong you are and the reason why you're a revolutionary. You know what I mean? You know, you're the founding father of your own path is kind of essentially what Spirit is telling me. And you need to listen to the guidance that you're getting because it's going to set you on the right path. And it doesn't, like, honestly, Pile 5, it doesn't matter what other people admire about you, because you need to start admiring yourself and you need to start admiring your own gifts, because that is really the only shit that matters. You need to reclaim all the shit that makes you awesome, get rid of the shit that isn't helping you, and just start moving forward and recognizing that you're not who you were when you were 5. You're not who you were when you were 12. If you're 12 watching this, I mean, hi. I don't even want to acknowledge that. Like, it's wonderful to be looking into self-discovery and stuff like that. Moving forward. Okay. There's just a need for you to recognize that you need to find balance within yourself and start believing in yourself, because you've got all these special abilities and people can see it, but you can't. And the more you do actually pay attention to it and allow yourself to, like, embrace it and explore it and discover it, the happier you're going to be. So now that this is already turning into a lecture anyway, I'm just going to allow Spirit to come through and get some channel messages for you guys, because that's clearly what they want to do anyway. They're like hijacking me. The point of this is, like, I knew they were going to come in and hijack this because they've been doing it the entire time. But Spirit, what do you want Pile to start? Rejection is divine protection. Trust that we have something better in store. Yeah. So don't be afraid if you find out that, like, something you go after wasn't what you thought it was going to be. That's okay. There's something better along the way. There's something better. It's just a divine redirection. Claircognizant, you know it. So there's a lot of you with claircognizance, and that's definitely that messenger energy. There's things that you just know, and you need to trust those things. Let go of what is slipping away. We are making room for much better things. And when you see through the eyes of love, life doesn't feel as heavy. So yeah, like, if you look at yourself through the lens of love, if you look at what you're creating through the lens of love, you're going to feel a lot more freer to keep going and to allow yourself to make mistakes, because as long as you have this solid basis of self-love, like, nothing can bring you down. Yeah, let's look at these and we'll leave it at that. But I want to point out the back of the deck. So on the back of the deck, we have, you'll never know what you can achieve unless you try. So that's really important. But we also have integrity is essential. Stick to your morals and honor your inner compass. So when it comes to doing this, that's why it's really important to trust your own inner guidance instead of what other people are saying, because you need to follow your own integrity. And we also have reach out to a friend if you haven't spoken to in a while, and let them know how special they are. Not only would this help you, but maybe this friend will have some type of advice for you or have some type of information for you that's useful. We also have pay attention to your dreams. We have messages for you. Keep a journal. So yeah, if you're not keeping a dream journal, you really need to be, because with that claircognizance, it can be really, you can get divine guidance and forget it in an instant. That's why it's really important to write it down. Like, I get a lot of guidance for myself, like, when I'm half asleep. It's really interesting. Like, I might get guidance to my dreams. My dreams are really weird. But I have this thing where, like, when I'm half asleep, I'm not seeing anything, but I'm just hearing voices come through giving me answers to the craziest shit. And sometimes I forget it. But when I actually write it down, it's really helpful. So do that. I'm cutting the deck right now, but we already have surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. I don't know if that one will come out, but I felt like it was relevant to show you anyway. But let's go ahead and see what Spirit wants you to surrender so that you can keep moving forward. So pile 5, Spirit, what do they need to surrender in order to actualize their true potential and move forward? Okay, well, we have surrender your defensiveness. We'll see what that one is. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out. Then offer a clear, non-defensive response. And I knew it was going to come out anyway. So surrender to your full power, and we already read it anyway. I think that's so funny. Spirit always just knows what to say. We also have surrender to play. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time for recreation and rejuvenation. And on the back of the deck, we have surrender to non-action. Now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you and surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. So Spirit is really saying you're doing a wonderful job, but you need to stop being so hard on yourself, and that you have a much bigger path than you realize, and you need to believe in your ability to actualize it and not put so much stress and pressure on yourself, because you'll get there as long as you're following the inner yearnings of your soul. So pile 5, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through, and thank you so much to everybody who has been watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me and my channel, and I just really appreciate those of you who do that and exchange energy with me in that way. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like. If this video resonated, I would love it if you let me know down in the comments how. I love reading your guys' comments and seeing you guys support one another. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed and hit that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. Thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I know this reading was different from what it intended to be, but Spirit loves to hijack things. So I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you will come back and see me again soon. Bye!